I second the motion and reserve my right to speak.
And I thank the member for Spence. The question is that the motion be agreed to, and I give the call to the member for Monash.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to firstly congratulate the member for Holt on her address and for bringing to the parliament her personal experience of what happened to her and her family. And one of the good parts about this place is the parliament brings to it a diversity of people. And the member for Holt has obviously risen above the outcomes and did not remain cynical about the approach of Australian employers in this country and bring herself to obviously join the Labor Party, which I would have suggested she might have joined the Liberal Party had she been thinking correctly at the time. But she joined the Labor Party and she's ended up right here in this parliament as the member for Holt in the House of Representatives. So obviously she made the point about there are people out there that without control of government, and I would also offer the Minister for Immigration and Citizenship my great congratulations on his 50th birthday, which is 22 years ago for me and sounds very young, but I certainly congratulate Andrew. Andrew has been a friend in this House for a long time, and Andrew, I congratulate you on your 50th birthday, which is a very significant birthday in the life of anyone, especially when you are a Member of Parliament, and you have some very difficult issues to face, which have been brought to the attention of the member for Holt, and there will be legislation covering these things. For all governments, going back to Labor governments before the coalition government, I knew that we can't find around 60,000 people in Australia. We don't know where they are, we don't know where they're working, and we are able to, at different times, put in a task force and go and find as many people as possible and see who's exploiting the system. But there must be a proviso here, and I hope that will be in the legislation. And that proviso is this, Deputy Speaker, that let it not be a witch hunt for employers who break the rules without knowing they're breaking the rules. For those people who legitimately think that they're paying the award rate when there have either been changes that haven't been brought to their attention, as has happened with some of the biggest organisations in Australia, who all believe they were paying their employees correctly and they weren't. Now, the member for Holt was talking about something totally different to that misunderstanding of the award or whatever the big banks and other people claim. You're talking about direct exploitation of workers for the benefit of that organisation, and especially migrant workers who come here. Why did they come? Why did we give them, many of them, a visa directly to come to Australia? And that was because they were in another country of their own, and they were in difficult circumstances like we would not understand in this country. Or families that have come to this country with a view to hope, some control of their lives, but the most important one, Deputy Speaker, to belong. Come to this nation to belong. So to be exploited when you first come here with all your hopes and dreams put before you, and your first job as a migrant, you are seen to be a second-class citizen straight off, and what you thought you were coming to wasn't your experience immediately. Now, if you have then have leaders in your community to go to, a union to go to, a mentor to go to, someone to say, this is happening to me, but too often they haven't got the contacts and those sorts of abilities to say this employer, and they are too frightened of their experience. They have a job. If I go to another one, does the same thing happen to me? Is it any different with the next employer? That question would have to be asked. So I thank the member for Holt for bringing this to the attention of the parliament. I look forward to the introduction of that legislation into the parliament, and I actually hope it achieves all it is set out to achieve. But I remind everybody, let there be clear winners in this place, and not innocent bystanders knocked over by the legislation.
And I thank the member for Monash. The question is that the motion